Whenever this sound echoed in the house, the servants knew trouble was brewing. Everyone hurriedly hid all the food, terrified of missing anything. Once the last dish was hidden, the mischievous Buck made his entrance. His keen nose quickly detected something amiss in the cupboard. He put on a pitiful look for the servants, but these tricks no longer worked. As expected, he was chased out of the kitchen. Buck's audacity stemmed from having a wealthy owner who doted on him. Though exasperated, the owner had no choice but to drag him out of the room, closing the door before the troublemaker could re-enter. However, this didn't deter Buck. As usual, he planned to sneak in through the window, but this time the owner stopped him. It was his birthday, and he hoped Buck would behave for a day, but before he could finish speaking, Buck was distracted by a wild rabbit, and the owner's words were forgotten. When he returned at noon, he spotted the feast on the table, and more importantly, the empty seats. Buck licked his lips, deciding to give his owner a birthday surprise. After some time, he swaggered over, wagging his tail, and plopped himself in the prime seat. Seeing the drumstick in his mouth, everyone realized the disaster. As expected, the table was a mess. The owner looked utterly defeated, but at least Buck left a drumstick. Thus, Buck was locked out. Overnight for the first time, but little did he know it was a farewell. Late at night, the gardener approached Buck, luring him into a car with food. Buck, thinking it was a game, hesitated for a second before jumping in, but as soon as he turned, the cage was locked. No matter how hard Buck tried, he couldn't open it. He realized the gardener had sold him to a dog trader. Watching the castle fade into the distance, Buck regretted it, but it was too late. As the traders crammed the cage into a van, Buck finally saw daylight, only to find himself in a snowy world. This southern dog had never seen snow and awkwardly stepped out, his joy resembling my girlfriend's. She was curious about everything here but never expected to be thrown into a dog cage the next second, left for others to choose. Luckily, Buck's strong build quickly caught the attention of a young black man. Thus, Buck met his second owner, a couple of travelers. Initially, the lady wasn't satisfied with Buck, as the same price could buy 2 sled dogs instead of a horse. Little did they know, Buck would save them from danger multiple times later. However, on the first day, Buck didn't fit in with the pack and resisted the collar his owner put on him, making a fool of himself when running. The whole sled team was in disarray. After some time, Buck finally integrated into the team, but then he got distracted by a standing rabbit and slipped into a pit. The sled team, unsurprisingly, followed him down, causing complaints among the dogs. Buck, knowing he was at fault, hung his head, but the young black man didn't blame him. Instead, he encouraged Buck not to be discouraged, saying that joining a team takes time. For the first time, Buck understood the concept of teamwork. In the following days, they became much more efficient. Although Buck was often bullied by the lead dog, Husky, they managed to deliver most of the mail. However, peace didn't last long as internal issues arose. Husky often used his leader status to steal food from others, leaving the victims frustrated and dejected. Even Buck, who usually avoided conflicts, couldn't stand it. He approached Little Yellow and offered his food. Little Yellow looked at Buck in disbelief as Buck nudged the food forward and walked away without looking back. This unintentional act of kindness changed the dog's prejudice against Buck, so, when Husky woke up the next day, he found that everything had changed.